What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update, and I'm going to give you an update about the small, skinny stimulus bill that had a $300 per week unemployment extension to the end of the year. They just voted on that in the Senate. I'm going to give you the details of that, and also Nancy Pelosi, which they're negotiating on the larger stimulus package. What's going on with that? We're going to jump right into this. But first, don't forget to give this video a like down below. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos, and share this video so others like you can be in the know and know the details of what is going on with the second stimulus check. Okay, first up, this is going to make some people happy and it's going to make some people sad. I'm going to explain the details of this and what this means. The Senate has failed to pass the skinny bill from Mitch McConnell, which is about $500 billion and included a $300 per week unemployment extension, but no stimulus checks. As you can see here, the bill would have given a federal boost to weekly unemployment benefits, sent $100 billion to schools, and allocated funding for testing and vaccine development. It failed in a 51-44 vote, unable to reach the 60 votes, which is required by the filibuster rule in the Senate. They need more than just a majority, which would have been 51. So because of that rule, we've seen now two stimulus bills fail in the last 24 to 48 hours in the Senate. Nearly all the Democrats opposed it over concerns that more money was needed to combat the virus and help Americans. Now, what does this mean? So first of all, this is going to make some people happy because there wasn't stimulus checks in there. There wasn't mortgage and rental assistance. There was only the unemployment bonus, and it was for the lower amount, which is only $300 per week. This is basically Mitch McConnell's idea. This is his skinny bill. This had already failed in the Senate once because there's no Democratic support for it. My wife says that Mitch McConnell just threw this bill out there to try to get him some praise, that he tried to pass something before the election, even though this bill has already failed once before. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I think that passing something would have been better than nothing. I mean, $300 per week unemployment extension to over 25 million Americans, $100 billion to schools. I mean, it would have been good if we passed that. Now, it didn't have the stimulus checks. That's in the larger stimulus package. That's really the one that's best for everybody because there's at least $1,200 stimulus checks in there. The White House is talking about making them more. They said that they want to allocate more money and use it for direct stimulus payments. So that means that there could be more than $1,200, or also the dependent check for children and adult dependents and kids in college could receive more than $500 this time, depending on how they want to allocate more money that the White House says. So there's stimulus checks in the larger bill. There's an unemployment extension also in there, which is retroactive back to the beginning of September, depending on which date they pick. I can't give you an exact date because they've thrown around several different dates, like September 11th and a couple different dates in there. So we won't really know the exact dates of what is retroactive in the larger stimulus package, which has the much higher chance of passing until they actually release the details on it. But it will be retroactive based on the last data that we've seen coming from both sides. And the Republicans wanted $400 per week in that bill, which is more than Mitch McConnell's bill, who just kind of threw this bill out on his own, just kind of like, hey, what about this bill? The larger stimulus package is being negotiated on by the White House and Nancy Pelosi. Basically, once Nancy Pelosi says yes, all the Democrats will vote for it. They're like, oh, yeah, we got to vote for it. And once the White House says yes and he gets the Republicans to say yes, oh, yeah, we got to vote for it. So it's just like it really comes down to this negotiation between the two of them, okay? Also in this bill is mortgage and rental assistance. The skinny bill didn't have that. That will likely mean, we don't know the details on it, but it will probably mean you might get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for mortgage and rental assistance to help you pay your mortgage and your rent. I think that is one of the best things that we've had been put into this bill. That's a recent development that only came about in the last few weeks. Before that, it was kind of just stimulus checks and unemployment. And a lot of people don't get unemployment, so they would have just got the stimulus checks. But now with this mortgage and rental assistance, it'll probably end up helping a lot more people. So you could get the stimulus check and the mortgage and rental assistance. Now, when that mortgage and rental assistance passes with this bill, there will likely be a process to how you'll go to applying to get it. I will walk you through that entire process when the time comes. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel. You can click the bell icon if you want to get notifications when we go live. But when that process happens, I will walk you through the entire process on how to get the mortgage and rental assistance. Now we have a brand new interview from House Speaker and leader of the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi. When she says yes, it's almost like the green light for the stimulus. So dare I say that she literally has all the power right now of the entire United States to pass a stimulus to you and millions of Americans? I almost could say that. I mean, she literally has almost all the power. If she says yes to tonight, boom, I mean, it's a deal. The president already wants it. So, and he says that once they get a deal, once they get an agreement, once she says yes, then he'll just call up his Senate friends, his Senate Republicans, and be like, hey, hey, we need to vote for this. So, we could pass this before the election. I need votes. You need votes. People need money. So, really, Nancy Pelosi is the number one most important person in America right now, as crazy or sad as that is to say. Let's see what she's saying right now.
Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Madam Speaker, thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to ask you, where do we stand? Because you were notably optimistic, even though the time is so short, your deadline has come and gone, but the talks were going well with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. But now we're hearing this from the majority leader. What's going on?
Well, thank you. I'm pretty happy. I think we have a prospect for an agreement. I do not believe that our timetable has come and gone. We had a purpose in the timetable, which is that we would establish where we were. Freeze the design on your position. No more discussion about then and that. What is your position? And that is what we are coming to conclusion about now. There's some delay on the part of the Republicans about the appropriations piece of it, but I hope that will be resolved. The secretary will be back in conversation with us later today, and hopefully that will be resolved. So it's just a question then of weighing the equities. Is this worth that? And but we do need more money, and we needed it to be spent in a way to crush the virus, and they finally have arrived at that.
Hey, you heard her. Crush the virus, her famous saying.
All these months, and we have more that we can do. My view is that there's no reason that America's schools shouldn't be the safest place in America for our children to go to learn. It takes some money for more classes, more teachers, more ventilation, more technology and the rest. But it takes not that much more money to make it safe. If children can go to school, children learning, parents earning, parents can go to work. And if not, we have to have more childcare, and that's part of our discussion right now. But I'm optimistic because even with what Mitch McConnell says, we don't want to do it before the election, but let's keep working so that we can do it after the election. We want it before. But again, I want people to know help is on the way. It will be bigger, it will be better, it will be safer, and it will be retroactive.
Okay, so let's talk about what she said there. She said help is on the way. It'll be bigger, it'll be better, and it will be retroactive. Okay, so we think she's talking about at least the unemployment benefits bonus there. We know that those are retroactive. We're not sure if something else might be retroactive, such as the stimulus checks, that maybe they might give us some back pay for all these months that we've been waiting for a second stimulus check. We'll have to see as the details come out on that. I will keep you updated. But the other important part there is that she said they're still working on this every day, regardless if they pass this right before the election or right after the election. I think that at this point, either is a possibility. And if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have told you that Nancy Pelosi was probably waiting until after the election because she didn't want to help out President Donald Trump. Now I feel like that the situation has kind of changed a little bit, where I think she might be trying to push this through right before the election because, well, there's really multiple reasons. Number one is she's up for re-election. Okay, she doesn't want to lose her reelection. She doesn't want to lose her seat. She also doesn't want to lose the majority in the House. If she gets reelected, but they lose the majority in the House, basically people aren't happy with the Democrats in there, and new people get voted in, which would be Republicans, because the opposite of a Democrat's a Republican. So a lot of people aren't happy with the people that are in Congress right now. So the majority of people in Congress are Democrats. So if a bunch of them get voted out, that means that the Republicans would take control, and the same vice versa in the Senate. A lot of people aren't happy with the Senate. Democrats could take control. They only need a few seats in the Senate, but the Senate only has 1/3 of the people up for reelection this year, because the senators serve 6-year terms. Mitch MCConnell is up for reelection this year. Nancy Pelosi and everybody in the U.S. House of Representatives, they only serve 2-year terms. So every single one of them is up for reelection. So Nancy Pelosi is not only worried about her reelection and her keeping the Speaker of the House, which means they have to keep the majority, but there's also a lot of talk from Democrats going on right now that's basically saying to her, we need to pass this before the election, because after the election, we might not be here. And President Trump might not get reelected. So then he won't be eager to pass stimulus, because he'll be worried about challenging it in court. If he loses the election, he could challenge it in court. So then what happens with the stimulus? So a lot of Democrats are saying to Nancy Pelosi, hey, Nancy, we need to pass this right before the election. This way, President Trump won't get the credit. We'll get the credit for passing it. People won't change their mind that close, but at least we'll get it done and we'll get reelected. So let me know what you think. Let's jump back in.
Let me ask you this. The president has said he wants an even bigger deal than the Democrats. And he acknowledges not every Republican agrees with him, but he said that they will. What are you hearing? Are you confident the president is going to go along with what you and Secretary Mnuchin are talking about?
Well, I wouldn't even be having these discussions if we didn't think the president had some sway as to whether the Senate would take this legislation up.
I agree with that.
The election is coming soon. We know that the new Congress and new president are just 2.5 months away. We don't want to wait that long. We want to get something done for the American people as soon as possible. Our bill is over 5 months old. They finally came to the table. And I think, well, it's up to the president to convince people in his own party. But you have to also remember how hard that is, because some of them really don't care to spend any more money to crush the virus, to make our schools safe, to honor our heroes, to put money in the pockets of the American people that is so needed. But I'm optimistic that there will be a bill. It's a question of, is it time to pay the November rent, which is my goal, or is it going to be shortly thereafter and retroactive? So again, we're in a better place than we have been. And the goal that we had up until last night was for us to stake out our positions so that it's no more movement, and then again come to an agreement. I'm optimistic.
So there you heard Speaker Pelosi say she's optimistic. She wants to get a deal done so that you can pay your November rent, which is in about 10 days. Okay. So that is still possible, because Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that the money will go out to people in direct deposit within 7 days after they pass it. I don't know. That would mean that they'd have to get it done in 48 hours, 2-3 days. Okay. It'll be close if they get some significant movement. The White House has said, they've come out and said today that they want to get a deal done now within 48 hours. And this is not Nancy Pelosi's 48 hours, which just ended yesterday. The White House is now saying that they want to get a deal done within 48 hours now. So basically by the end of this week, by Friday, that the White House wants to get a deal done so that they can still get this through before the election. Honestly, the White House and Nancy Pelosi are pretty much saying the same thing. They both want a deal done before the election. Nancy Pelosi had not been saying that before last week. I mean, she was just kind of like saying, yeah, we want a deal, but then it's kind of saying, yeah, but we don't want to help out Trump. We want it to be after the election. So she's pretty much made a significant turnaround this week. and is now basically saying every single time you talk to her, she wants to get it done right before the election. And that's because she doesn't think it's going to help Trump at this point. If they pass it 2 or 3 days before the election, she doesn't think that voters are going to change their mind on President Donald Trump, that they already have their minds made up whether they're voting for him or not. And of course, Nancy Pelosi thinks that they're not voting for him. In fact, let me know, would you change your mind if the stimulus is passed right before the election? Would you change your mind on your vote for either Trump, or if you are able to vote for Pelosi or McConnell, would that change your mind? Let me know down below in the comments. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. And please share this video on Facebook, share this video with your friends and family so that other people are able to stay in the know and not be in the dark and able to keep up with this information and with the daily updates. I will update you guys as soon as new information comes out, along with the stimulus checks and the unemployment extension update and the stimulus package. You can click on this top video to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.